Netstat, or network statistics, is basically a tool in most operating systems that allow us to kind of look at, well, you guessed it, the network statistics. It's very common to run to kind of see and troubleshoot what's going on with our individual systems. Let's jump right into it. I'm just going to start off by typing Netstat right off the get-go. Let's look at Netstat. And you can see through the basic line here that we've got some individual items. I'm going to scroll all the way to the top so that we can see these columns as we're going through. But you can see literally how much is going on right here as I kind of scroll up. All right, so right off the bat, on the very top left-hand side, we see this proto. That actually stands for protocol. And when we're looking at protocol, we've usually got three when it comes to a Linux-based system. We've got Unix, which is basically the local Unix protocol that's being used. We could have TCP, which, you guessed it, is a TCP protocol, or UDP, which is basically the UDP protocol. So very, very basic information associated with it. With ref count, we're talking about reference count. This is the number that is accessing the individual protocol. How many applications are actually using it at the time. Now, you'll notice that 3 is on there, which is pretty baseline because I'm on a virtual system. Nothing to be concerned about there. Then we have the flags. Now, flags are usually one of 3 items. In this case, we don't really have any flags for most of them are showing here, but we could have ACC, which is accepting connections. We have a W for waiting, and then E for error. In this case, it's just kind of blank, which means it's connected, it's going in and doing what it's supposed to be doing. Then we've got our type. We've got stream, we have dgram. Those are the 2 most common ones, and believe it or not, this corresponds back to the actual protocol that we're using. In this case, stream means TCP and dgram means UDP. There are a couple other ones out there, but those are the most common you'll see. Within the state, we usually have connected or listening. Those are the top 2. Connected being that, hey, we're currently in use. We're currently connected to what's going on. We have listening, which is the other top one. That basically means that we're waiting for connections. We're just listening to see what's going on. But we also have none, which doesn't use any connection state. It's not really used that often, but it is there every once in a while. And then established, which means there's an active connection going on. Now, you're probably a little bit confused about the difference between connected and established because I just kind of told you they're the same thing, but they're really not. Connected means that there's 2 processes or applications that are using or sharing that connection, where established is more of an outside connection to it, usually over a port or a protocol that's going through and it's saying, hey, I'm not inside the internal system, but I'm actually connected to something else. Then we have inode. Now, inode is because Linux literally treats everything as a file system. This number lets us match the socket to the process in which it's residing under, in case, process ID. That's basically where it runs into. And then finally, path. Where is the actual path associated with what we're doing on the connection? In this case, the path for the very first one is run user 1000 and then bus. Now that we've got that basic understanding of what Netstat is and everything that we're reading here, you can kind of see that I scroll down and we can kind of get a better sense of what's going on. And you notice that there is a ton going on with this. This is absolutely too much. So instead of searching for everything, let's just search for active connections. And I'm going to do that very quickly. I'm going to do a netstat-a or tac-a. This is really useful if I want to know what ports or services are running on the system currently. And we can see that this system's got a lot of ports and services running. Let's assume, for instance, that you're trying to figure out what's going on with your actual Ethernet connection. You're seeing some lag spikes, maybe you're seeing some problems with it, and you want to identify the exact nature or the exact problem associated with it. So, believe it or not, we can just do a netstat-tac-e. And in this case, it's going to bring up that Ethernet connection. And we can see, again, all the process IDs associated with it, the stream, and a basic understanding of what's going on with the specific Ethernet. Now, if I wanted to just associate or look at specific protocols for TCP, I can do that as well. And that command is netstat, and then a tac-p, and then, of course, TCP associated with it. And now you can kind of see that it's going to break everything up for me. And this is just TCP information. Makes it a little bit harder to read like this. Let me minimize the screen a little bit. And you can kind of see where this is coming from. We still have that process ID. We still have that information, but we've got this new line right here. And if I scroll up, we can see what this is all about. And you can see here that we have that process ID program name associated with it rather than just the process ID. So this will help us identify if there's a specific process ID, the number, and then the associated program running with it. So this can help us identify and troubleshoot those issues. If I don't want to do TCP, I can literally press the up arrow, and instead of doing TCP, we do that tac-p with UDP, and it's just going to give me the UDP connections. Now, the nice one that I actually use quite a bit often is actually netstat-tac-r. This is going to show me the routing table associated with it, And if you see here, it's going to give me a little bit of an issue because I misspelled Netstat. Let's go into this again. Here we go. TAC R. There we go. And you can see very, very clean Netstat routing table because it is a virtual machine. We can see that destination default. We see that gateway, the gen mask, the flags associated with it, and we can see that it is tied to Ethernet 0. Finally, if I want to listen or show the listening ports associated with it, whether within TCP or UDP, I can literally just do a netstat and then TAC tuple, so TUPLN, just like that. There we go, TULPN, and this will show us our ports that we're listening in. It's going to give me an error, so let's just throw sudo in front of it because it should work. Sudo, there we go. Throw in that thing, and there we go. So for this one, it's showing the active internet connections. Because it's a virtual machine, it doesn't have any, but that's okay. We got the basic idea. Let's run this again real quick to kind of give you an active connection. Let me open up an Ethernet browser or a web browser right here. I'm just going to go to yahoo.com. There we go. It's going to pull up that web page. Let's go back through and let's rerun it. And you can see now, running that same command, it's giving me a little bit more information. It's still giving me the 0 because I'm in a virtual machine, but we can see that Firefox is associated with it. We see that PID, that process ID. We can see the state because it was not actively being used. So that's Netstat. Very, very, very quick down and dirty. I hope it was helpful.